There are a ton of things you can do in Valhalla after finishing these story arcs. Some are pretty obvious, while you might not have thought of some other things that are totally interesting to do. So in this video I will share everything you can do after finishing Valhalla. Good to note is that there are no story spoilers in this video whatsoever. I'm only talking about activities and things you can do in the game. You can actually already do some of them early on because of the freedom that Valhalla gives you. Either way, let's get into it. A like on the video would of course really help me out, and let's go. If you follow the channel, then you know that I'm doing a weekly Helix credit pack giveaway for 2,300 Helix credits. You can enter via the link in the pinned comment, and these giveaways are for subscribers of this channel. Good luck. After you completed every story arc on the Alliance map, you are in the end game, and then it's more about completing the many side objectives in Valhalla. First things first though, because you can now get the amazing Gungnir spear by going to a cave in Hordavilke. And only get the other easy weapons as well if you haven't already. You can already get the Excalibur earlier though by visiting special caves and killing some zealots. I made a top 5 weapons video that you can watch by clicking the link in the description. And I will link to all my videos I mentioned in the description, so you can easily find them. Mjolnir is of course another one of those weapons, but for this you also need to take out some special bosses and all the order members. And that's of course another obvious thing, clear the order menu. Something that you can now completely do after doing the main story. And they of course want to bring back the order medallions to hide them in your settlement. And he also wants 6 codex pages, and these are hidden in Hidden Ones bureaus across England. If you played Origins, then a cool secret will be waiting for you after getting all these codex pages. And I have a video on the Hidden Ones armor you also get in these bureaus, and all the pages up on the channel. You've likely already been to Finland, right, for the main story, but maybe you did not get all the weapons and armor pieces there. Well, it will totally be nice to get them now that you finish the main story, because I totally think that at one point we will be able to use them in other regions of the game. It has not been confirmed completely, but I think it's a matter of time before we can rock this cool gear everywhere. And I can really continue to list a lot of obvious things, but you can actually easily track it by looking at the achievements or trophies on your platform. Or if you are on PC, I will link to an article with all the trophies, because I know that the PC version doesn't have achievements right now. One easy thing to track is of course completing all the territories, something that is also needed for the completionist all the way trophy. When chasing this, you will already find all the legendary animals that when then going back to the hunter's hut in your settlement will give you some really cool rewards. You will then also encounter mysteries in East Anglia over here on the map that can give you a cat for on your ship, and this really never gets old, or a fox that will then run around in your settlement. And for this mystery you want to go over here on the map. After saving the fox for this mystery, you need to walk away, the fox will follow you, and then Eivor will note to take it to the settlement. If you've already completed the mystery, did not get the fox, they can always go back to this location, and then Eivor will note this line as well. Drengr are also part of the mysteries, and there might be a Drengr quest later on with Ragnar at his pit where he died, as I told you before. So at least finding all of them and taking them out for some major runes as a reward is totally worth it, or you can get a spear in Norway. And then let's hope that this quest will be added. Darby, the narrative director, is at least still looking into what happened with the mission, like this tweet was posted very recently. And chasing these major runes is something that is like not noted as a trophy, but it's totally something that can change your gameplay up a lot. So these are the top runes on mythical items, and these are based on perks from other weapons or armor sets. But now, after unlocking them, you can put them on any item that you want. Do you want to parry and get health back but not use the Brighten shield that has the perk? Well, with the major rune you can. I might have a rune farming tactic in the future, but if you play it smart, you can already get a lot of them by simply doing other activities. Every time you level up, the merchant's shop will reset. So if you then visit them, you can buy the major rune and also other great runes that he or she is selling. Also order members, and again the Drengr drop these runes, so keep an eye out and they will build up a great collection over time during the end game. And this will then, for example, help you a lot when taking out the many raids, and raids are needed for the settlement resources, but as noted in our dedicated settlement level 6 video, you will also need to go and loot many of the smaller chests in villages or other more dense areas to get extra supplies. And doing all the main story arcs is also needed for a max level settlement, but that's totally something cool to chase for the cool mount that then appears at the stable and the other shop items that are added. Like many cool naval items can only be bought if you reach settlement level 6. And that's also something that you can do after finishing the main story. Try and buy everything from the merchant. All the settlement items, hairstyles, tattoos and naval content. You will need a lot of silver for that. There are some money tactics in the game right now. And again, I will link to them in the video description. My favorite building in the settlement is the Sears Hut though, because this lets you go to Asgard and Jotunheim, 2 of my favorite areas in the game, because they kind of feel like a DLC already, thanks to the different story and the fun twist on the familiar enemies. So totally do this storyline if you haven't already, and then stay for the mysteries, the 30 tiers that will give you 5 skill points if you find all of them. And in Jotunheim there's a special max level creature waiting for you, I won't spoil it. Or you can do a flighting match with Thor in Asgard. Of course, doing all the flighting matches across the game is another thing that you likely haven't done after finishing the main story, and these flighting matches do not count towards territory completion. There is a trophy or an achievement for them though, just like for beating all the Orlog players, something that I still need to spend some more time with. Like, I really like the minigame, but I've just been busy with a ton of other things. There's also a trophy for catching a fish of each type using the fishing line, and LT_GXG made a fishing map on Reddit that I will also link to. But the true endgame challenge will be getting the swordfish weapon, and you get that after completing all the fishing hut objectives. This mission is bugged though for some people, so I don't fully recommend spending a lot of time on it if it doesn't work out. But at one point, when Ubisoft fixes it, it will be worth it, I think, to go for this. Especially when the visual customization feature gets added, because then we can use this very cool swordfish skin that we see from a video from Grima here on any other sword in the game as well. There is a Ubisoft Connect challenge for this, by the way, and that's of course another thing that is worth your time doing these Ubisoft Connect challenges. They give you XP to gain Ubisoft Connect levels, and if you gain a level, you get points to then spend on the rewards. I did do all the hunting hut challenges myself for the special bow, but yeah, that totally requires the necessary time too. Just like getting all the artifacts and then bringing them to Octavian in your settlement. This will give you a nice shield as a reward. But yeah, the biggest endgame grind is trying to fully upgrade weapons and armor. And then I'm not talking about getting all the items to the mythical rarity by visiting the blacksmith, which is relatively doable because there are quite a lot of farms for tungsten, nickel and carbon ingots, and I also will link to them in the video description. No, I'm mostly talking about the inventory upgrades, using iron and leather for that. Maybe you already tried upgrading some items, but then you will quickly find out that you won't have enough iron or leather, for example, while the upgrades on paper, like the increases that they give to the weapon, are pretty significant. So one way to get more iron and leather is by going and cleaning all the smaller chests from the map. And this of course doesn't count towards the wealth, but they will give you a lot of iron or leather. The higher the power level of the region, the more iron and leather you get from the chest. But only get all the chests in Hamptonshire first before you go to lower power level regions. There are some other farming tactics for leather and iron that I will likely talk about in a future video, but this is really the true endgame grind, even if you only want your favorite weapons and armor sets to the max upgrade level. I think it will be nice for when those river raids come around in February. We only got a screenshot of it now, but it should be highly replayable and also quite challenging, so hopefully we will then need a fully upgraded character. A nice thing about the items that Reda is selling is that they are already on the mythical status and also at a very high upgrade level. I've said this before launch even, but another thing to totally do after finishing the main story is keeping up to date with the daily and weekly contracts that you can of course easily pick up at Reda or at any other contact in the world. As I noted before, these missions are super repetitive, but having a chance to buy some of the Helix items with the opal you earn is more than worth it. And sure, I haven't touched on all the activities like the Animus Anomaly, the flying papers you can chase, although again you will encounter them when clearing every territory in the game or when looking at all the achievements. If I still missed things though, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe of course for everything on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I got way more content coming your way. Also talking about the new content that will be coming. A like on the video would really help me out. And check out my previous video on the top 5 best weapons in the game that you totally want to be using during the end game. For now though, I will speak to you next time and goodbye.